once said, "I am for the art of underwear and the art of taxi cabs. I am for the art of ice cream cones dropped on concrete." This means he did not want art to be boring and uninteresting. When I first saw this piece, I wondered, why would he ever make this? Klaus will teach us art can be different and fun. Klaus Oldenburg was born January 28, 1929 in Stockholm, Sweden. Soon after his birth, his family moved to New York and then to Chicago. There he attended art schools and later went on to study at Yale University. Klaus was inspired to turn everyday objects into large sculptures, which makes him a great example of a pop artist. Many of his pieces were public installations made with his wife, Koos van Bruggen, who is also an artist. You can find his sculptures on top of buildings, in parks, on the street, and other places as well. For example, one of his popular pieces, Dropped Cone, shows a melting ice cream cone on top of a building. Have you ever walked by a building and felt like ice cream would drip on your head? Klaus is a pop artist and a postmodernist. That means he sculpts daily life figures and makes them into huge sculptures. For example, have any of you ever been in Minneapolis? If you haven't, one of his most popular pieces, Spoon Bridge in Cherry, is there. The piece displays a large red cherry with a huge spoon under it. The Spoon Bridge in Cherry is an example of installation art. That is art which is designed to fit in a certain place. Many of his pieces are an example of this type of art. Have you ever been to Cops? If you haven't, there is a large spoon of cherry right in the center of the restaurant. You may be thinking you made it, but he actually did not. It may have been derived from his artwork, though. Two of his pieces, Trowel 1 and 2, were made so they could be plunged straight into the earth with no need for a base. The piece I am studying, Trowel-Scale A, 3 out of 3, does need a base. The base is filled with brown dirt, and the trowel is made of aluminum. It is an example of realistic art. What do you think it would feel like to touch?
I think it would be smooth because of the aluminum.
I think the actual trowel would feel smooth, cold, and hard to touch, while the dirt gives me a rough and rocky sensation. What do you think of when you see this piece? Trey?
I think about gardening.
Playing in the sandbox.
Some may think of farmers, while others could think of hard work. This piece makes me think of spring. Spring means new beginnings are happening. The trowel is digging hard into the dirt so a new plant can be planted and grown. The light in this piece changes. The higher, the brighter, the lower, the more dark and shadowy. The reason for it being shadowy in the lower parts is because the high parts take all the light and make the lower parts a lot more dark and shadowy. Klaus Oldenburg made many different types of sculptures, such as a trowel digging into dirt. I'm not sure all of you have worked in the backyard digging with a trowel, but I am sure all of you have eaten ice cream. For my interpretive piece, I substituted a trowel into dirt to a spoon into ice cream. The ice cream is a mix of shortenings and powdered sugar, while the spoon is actually a plastic spoon wrapped in foil. Unlike other pieces, Klaus's are relatable, meaning things you see in your everyday lives. Klaus Oldenburg did not want art just to sit in a museum. I learned art can be everywhere. You don't have to go to a museum just to see good art. We should appreciate his art because we can learn from what he made, and he taught us art can be different.